All Out taking place this weekend in Chicago, Illinois. Yet another pay-per-view brought to you by All Elite Wrestling just a week after their historic best-selling event in Wembley Stadium. All in spectacular pay-per-view last week. So, in my opinion, and this is just my view from it, this seems a little bit more like a throwaway pay-per-view. Like, whoever wasn't a part of the actual All-In event, you got All Out now. You're going to get some matches here and there that you would not have seen in Wembley Stadium. And we also have a few matches that are a bit of a fallout from what happened at the pay-per-view a week ago. So with that said, let's get right into the predictions for this show so far. Now, 9 matches have been announced for All Out in Chicago, Illinois. There's a possibility of a 10th match. And at the end of all of this, I'm going to talk about this entire CM Punk Jack Perry situation. Again, I kind of feel like you've already known what I'm going to say about this, which is exactly why I'm leaving it till the end, because I don't want to start this with a rant. But as far as predictions go, the actual main event for this show, All Out Chicago, Illinois, no world title on the line, no real world title on the line either. So, in my opinion, there is absolutely no excuse. There is no reason as to why the International Championship should not main event this pay-per-view in Chicago, Illinois. We've talked about this. I talked about this on yesterday's video. Orange Cassidy has already defended his title, I believe, 30 times successfully. So this is his 31st title defense in his current run as International Champion. He's the workhorse champion. He's been on TV multiple times, whether it be Rampage, Collision, or Dynamite. He is always a featured star because he is the AEW mid-card champion. And then he's going to face a former 3-time AEW world champion, bona fide main eventer, household name for AEW, ratings grabber, people want to watch him wrestle all the time, Jon Moxley. So you got those two elements coming together. That has to be the main event for a championship that AEW should now be focusing on. Not primarily should be the AEW World Championship, the Triple B. Secondarily, the International Championship is the Intercontinental Championship. Equate that. Make it that prestigious. Make that happen. And just like I said on yesterday's video, Jon Moxley has to win. He has to beat freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy at All Out in Chicago, Illinois, because that will send that championship over the top. You got a main eventer holding that title, dethroning a star like Orange Cassidy, workhorse of a champion, who will now have to, once again, commit to being the underdog and chase a heel champion. And then not only that, you'll have Orange Cassidy, a fan favorite with the AEW fans, having to deal with not only Jon Moxley, but the rest of the BCC, which is always a good thing for babyfaces if you know how to execute and book it right. So again, I just feel like Jon Moxley is going to walk out with the International Championship. That much, in my opinion, that's the best move to make for All Out. We'll just have to wait and see what happens when it goes down. On that note, we also have the BCC in a tag team match. Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta facing off against Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata. Again, we all know the history between Kingston and Castagnoli, so they're going to be involved right then and there. Who walks out with the win? I have to give it to Kingston. He's a current champion, along with Shibata. They're going to win this match. Not easily, of course. BCC is going to put up quite a good fight. But my entire viewpoint is if Jon Moxley gets the win, once Jon Moxley gets the win in the main event, some momentum that they'll lose in this tag team match will return to the BCC, and eventually down the line, Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, will return to the BCC, and that will just send that group back into full throttle. Which is why I'm giving Kingston and Shibata the win right now, because Kingston is, I believe, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Openweight Champion. So again, you have to keep him strong. He just successfully defended his title on Dynamite, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, please correct me in the comment section below. We have an 8-man tag team match. Bullet Club Gold, the Guns, Jay White and Juice Robinson, facing off against the team of FTR and the Young Bucks. Again, a match that was put together this week on Dynamite. FTR and the Young Bucks went to war in London for the Tag Team Championships. FTR came out to win. So again, this is an entire story of, can FTR and Young Bucks work things out? Can they coexist? Can they work together enough for enough of a time to beat Bullet Club Gold? And I'm going to say this right now. Bullet Club Gold has to and will get the win right here, because this group needs momentum. This group needs to be really beating a lot more of the teams that they're facing, because they've been losing for too long. Especially when you got guys like Jay White and Juice Robinson in the fold. The Guns have they've really accentuated their personas, their presence on AEW TV. So again, I think that the heels have to go over. I kind of feel like All Out's going to be a very heel heavy show, because this leads all the way into Grand Slam, where babyfaces get some of the comeuppance, or get their revenge. That's a better word of putting it. But again, in my opinion, Bullet Club Gold gets the win here, so that we can keep getting FTR versus the Young Bucks down the line in the big blowout match for the tag team titles at Grand Slam. And then FTR, if I'm booking, FTR retain the titles all the way, and they drop it to a heel Santana or Ortiz down the line. So again, that will be my game plan. We'll just have to wait and see. As far as the 8-man tag team match goes, you can't go wrong with either of these 8 men in a wrestling match. It's going to be entertaining as hell. I wouldn't be surprised if this match opens All Out. So we'll just have to wait and see. Singles match for the TBS title. Chris Statlander defending against Ruby Soho. And this might be a little bit of a Judgment Day situation. If Ruby Soho does walk out with the championship, you have Ruby Soho as TBS champion, mid-card champion of the women's division, and you have Saraya, brand new women's world champion, and then you have Toni Storm on the outside looking in, no gold. We all saw her infamous reaction on Dynamite last night. That's going to become a meme for years and years to come. So again, that might come into play when deciding on who walks out with the win for this match. But my money is on the fact that Chris Statlander retains and Jade Cargill returns to claim or reclaim her stake on the TBS Championship. Which again, I kind of want to go with Ruby Soho winning the title. Simply because Jade Cargill would be better suited coming back as a babyface, challenging Saraya, beating her for the title, and really capitalizing on a star that Jade Cargill has already become, instead of just backtracking back into the TBS Championship and going back into the same old rut of a streak she had with the TBS title, which you already know. My thoughts on that streak with the TBS Championship was, if you're going to keep it going, it eventually has to end with her challenging the Women's World Champion in a unification match or in a champion versus champion match and becoming Women's World Champion. That's how it ended. They decided against it. So I wouldn't be very fond of Jade Cargill returning and backtracking to the TBS Championship. But again, as far as this match is concerned, I'm going to go with the safe option. Chris Statlander retains. Jade Cargill returns. Again, I'm just throwing it out there. We have a singles match, Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs, and these two men are two of the best young stars. Miro, young, yeah. But these two stars definitely need to get back on track. They need momentum. They need wins. And it's very unfortunate that they're going up against each other at All Out, because again, they need wins. They need to be better positioned in terms of feuds and rivalries and the AEW food chain. And as far as the winner is concerned, this could be a coin toss for all I care. Either man could walk out with the win, and I wouldn't be pissed. At this point, it's just a matter of how the victory for either man is decided and executed. But at the end of the day, this is, I believe Big E said it, two big men just fighting against each other. He has a better quote of it. I kind of remember it. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm not going to say it. I don't want to say anything weird. So if I have to pick a winner, I'm going to have to go with the babyface, because I'm going to have a lot of heels winning this. So Miro is going to get the win over Powerhouse Hobbs. But this feud, this rivalry is far from over, hopefully. We'll just have to wait and see. We have the singles match for the AEW TNT Championship, AEW's TV title. Luchasaurus accompanied to the ring with the self-proclaimed TNT champion, self-proclaimed TNT co-champions, co-TNT champions, Christian Cage, facing off against Darby Allin. And under normal circumstances, Darby Allin would get the win, because he is the babyface, he is a top star. And Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, they can take the hit, they can take the loss. And Sting should be in Darby Allin's corner to counteract Christian Cage, of course. But I'm not going to have both mid-card championships changing hands. So Luchasaurus again and Christian Cage again, by the skin of their teeth, retain the title, and Darby Allin just keeps on with the chase, which is definitely what he has to do. He's not getting any close to the AEW World title at any point in time soon, so just have him keep chasing the TNT Championship. It will not change hands in Chicago this weekend. Again, my predictions, if you have different ones, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. We have the two matches that I'm not really fond of because they involve Ring of Honor titles. Now, one of them I'm okay with because, it involves the AEW World Champion, Triple B, Better Than You, Baby, Adam Cole and MJF defending against the Dark Order, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships, and, I'm so sorry. It's Thursday. Rampage has already been taped, so again, excuse me, spoiler alert. Again, I'm sorry if I spoiled it for you, but the Dark Order walks out with the win on tomorrow night's Ring of Honor Tag Team Battle Royal. They'll face off against Better Than You, Baby in Chicago, Illinois, for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. Now, who walks out with the win? I'm just going to keep doing this, man. I'm just going to keep predicting that Adam Cole is eventually, at some point very soon, going to turn on MJF. So, the Dark Order wins the tag team titles. Adam Cole turns on MJF. I'm just going to keep doing it until it happens. Because it's bound to happen at some point, right? So why would I flip-flop? So, it's going to be a tremendous match. And it's going to break my heart to see these two men break up when they do break up. Because even the backstage segment from yesterday's Dynamite, from last week's All In pay-per-view, it was just, a minute of golden entertainment. So, I don't want them to break up. It's just natural progression of things when it comes to the world title feuds. So, I'm just going to keep throwing it out there. Dark Order wins the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. And then they get shipped off to Ring of Honor. We don't see them on AEW because, as you all know, I hate is a strong word. I don't like other championships that are not from the company defended on the company's show that often. Maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. That's fine. But every single time, come on. With that said, Samoa Joe defending his Ring of Honor World Television Championship against Shane Taylor. I don't really keep up with Ring of Honor TV, unfortunately. So, I have to give the win to Samoa Joe. He retains the championship. Samoa Joe's my guy. He's the Samoan submission machine. They've really dropped the ball with him ever since I've been watching him since 2009. They've never really capitalized completely as Samoa Joe, face of the company, or world champion. So at this point in time, Samoa Joe with the win. That's all I can say about that match because I don't really follow Ring of Honor television like that. And Shane Taylor, I've seen a few of his matches from years ago. He's a great wrestler. That's all I can say about that. And finally, Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita. And I wouldn't be surprised if this match main events All Out as well. Two big names, especially Kenny Omega in the main event in Chicago. And even though Takeshita got the win at All In, he's going to get the win at All Out too. This feud, this rivalry, it's going to continue. Underhanded tactics. Kenny Omega, he can keep losing by being screwed out of these matches. He can keep doing that. That'll work for him. He's a fan favorite. His momentum isn't going anywhere, in my opinion. No matter how many times he loses, every time he gets in the ring, people watch, people pay attention, and that is testament to how big of a star AEW has with Kenny Omega. So with that said, Kenny Omega now has to put Konosuke Takeshita over as a big star, which he is. But again, Don Callis has to come into play because Takeshita is a heel. And if he was on his own, it'd be a very hard to boo him. So it's good that Don Callis is there. But this will definitely be match of the night at All Out. Takeshita, Omega, one-on-one. Can't wait. We have a possibility of a 10th match. Again, not fond of having more than 8 matches, 7, 8 matches on pay-per-views, because if you do, it cuts time from the spectacle of it, from actually giving those matches time, and you have to have 5, 8, 10-minute matches on pay-per-views when you could just do that on TV, weekly TV. So, again, I'm not really fond of that. But absolute Ricky Starks, he's a heel, so he's challenged Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to a match at All Out. I don't think it's gonna happen. We'll just have to wait and see. And so yeah, so those are the All Out predictions for this upcoming show in Chicago. And now we have to get into the hopefully short rant about CM Punk's backstage hijinks, which again, for all intents and purposes and all reports that we've been able to gather from pro wrestling's websites, it wasn't entirely his fault. Jack Perry confronted him backstage about a spot during his match at All In. Punk's face, they went back and forth at it right before CM Punk went to the curtain to retain his real world championship against Samoa Joe at the pay-per-view. And it's being reported that they're suspended. It hasn't been made official. They're still doing an investigation report, as confirmed by Tony Khan on the press conference after All In. All I'm going to say is CM Punk returning to AEW is and has always been what is best for business for AEW, because CM Punk is that big of a name. He's that big of a draw. He's that big of a professional wrestler in the ring. He can get it done no matter what, no matter against who. CM Punk as a brand, as a superstar, as a professional wrestler on TV, as an entity, as a character on TV is immensely valuable to All Elite Wrestling. But the backstage bullshit, the drama that he brings to the table, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. As his confrontation with Jack Perry, he has the brawl, the media brawl or whatever, at All Out last year. And then a few weeks ago after Collision, I believe, he cut a promo to the live audience after the show had ended, but he had cut a promo about Hangman Adam Page, berating Hangman Adam Page. So again, at this point in time, I just think CM Punk has this trauma from WWE. And the fact that, yes, he was one of the best. Yes, he was the best heel. Yes, he was trying to compete with John Cena as a top babyface, and then they turned him heel back then. So he's always had this chip on his shoulder since then, since 2010, since 2011. Because he's never been the guy. So now, in my opinion, in AEW, he has to actually actively challenge everyone backstage. Tony Khan himself, the fans, AEW faithful, everyone. Telling him to their face, I'm the guy. I'm the face. I'm the locker room leader. Respect me. Respect me. So it's a shame, like I said. CM Punk is what's best for business for AEW. He will bring in viewers. He will draw in partnerships and merchandise and everything that a company in the business wants. But I mean, we have All Out in Chicago, Illinois, and CM Punk won't be a part of it. That's enough said on what his current situation with AEW stands. And at this point, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm breaking it off. I'm ripping up his contract. I'm paying him off. Get him the hell out of there. It's just not worth all the backstage turmoil when you have a roster so talented that put on great shows like they did at All In, like they're about to do it All Out. And then backstage bullshit, backstage shenanigans that involve CM Punk, whether it's his fault or not, that always seems to derail it. So again, it sucks, but at this point in time, I think it's beyond repair. CM Punk has to go. CM Punk has to, in my opinion, retire from professional wrestling, because if he's not getting his way in AEW, he will definitely not get his way in WWE, and there's no place, no bigger platform than WWE at this point. So with that said, those are my thoughts on that situation. Those are my thoughts and predictions on All Out in Chicago, Illinois. In the meantime, tune in later on tonight to Access TV for another episode of Impact Wrestling. They're about to hit 1,000 episodes of Impact Wrestling. Really pumped for that. So with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.